Total. Simlish. Did you know why Sims speak in Simlish?
I have no idea.
So they didn't want to have to translate it when this game goes huge and international, because we all knew it would. So they created a language that kind of sounds just like a Western language, Simlish. And so now they don't have to translate it or worry about vernacular or anything else. So
that's brilliant.
Gabadoobie.
Hey everybody, I'm Katie.
I'm Becky. And this is Live, Laugh, Lorcana.
And today is like a really, really big day. Why, Becky?
We had a great conversation with Ryan. Or we're going to have a great conversation with Ryan. Ryan is our league organizer, and we're going to talk to him this evening.
That was one of 3 acceptable answers to that question.
What was the question?
Why is today an exciting day?
I have another answer.
Go.
Chapter 2, baby.
Heck yeah.
I do that all the time. You can hear it when I tend to swear a lot in my regular vocab, but like you can hear it on the podcast where I've changed it. I'll be like, darn it. You can hear it.
You can always hear the implied swear, but implied swear, I keep my clean content rating, right? Right, guys?
You can say hell in a clean content, right?
Can you?
I don't know. Let's find out. Keep it. I dare ya.
All right. Chapter 2 spoilers. We need to talk about them.
Can I just say I'm feeling spoiled by these spoilers because they are so good.
They're very good. So chapter 2, do you know when it's coming out?
December 1st.
In retail stores. Local game stores will get it November 17th.
Beautiful.
What's it called?
Floodborn.
Rise of the Floodborn.
Nailed it. 2 for 2.
What do you know what Floodborn means?
It means, well, I have a theory.
Ooh.
Well, Floodborn clearly, contextually, if we look at the cards, the Floodborn is always like if people like the villains took over, what would happen, right? So I'm assuming something happens and it's flood, which is water, and Detective Mickey is looking at his seaweed on his little spectacle thing, and so is the Duke of Wesselton. So they're both on the case. And I've heard lots of theories. Also not theories that Triton's involved. Is it an Ursula up to no good? I love Ursula. She deserves it. Whatever she wants.
Wow, you've thought about this way more than me. I'm so impressed. All I know is what Ryan Miller said, which is they're similar to Dreamborn, but instead of being summoned by Lumineers, they were created by Lorcana itself in a cataclysmic event.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's basically what I just said.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm like really impressed. You actually fleshed out this theory.
I am married to an unlicensed PI. I don't know if you recall that.
I did know that, yes. Did you know that there are 12 Floodborn characters in Chapter 1?
I did not count them, so I did not know that.
And that every single one of them is shiftable.
Oh, cool.
I know. So do you want to talk about some of the cards?
Yes, 100%. I know last episode I was poo-pooing the poo, but we saw him. The honey wizard is everything I could have ever wanted for Winnie the Pooh. And it's going to be on the playmat. I was indifferent to the playmat. I'm very into the playmat. I need this playmat. Also, the beast one looks pretty cool too. But the honey wizard, nobody saw that coming. Nobody.
I can't stop thinking about that card. It's so beautiful. I need the playmat. For sure.
Precious. Honestly, everything's really solid. I'm loving Gaston, intellectual powerhouse. It's hilarious and iconic. I love that. Cinderella as a knight, stout-hearted, so good. She looks incredible. I love that for her. Belle, the hidden archer, also looks incredible. I know everyone's going to be cosplaying this, and like that's fine. I mostly just want to make her weapon with the roses in the quiver. It's so good. There's just a lot of very tasty spoilers here.
The art is so good. So juicy.
Good.
And then like also what's on the cards is pretty juicy too. Do you have any of these cards you're excited from a playability perspective? Or is that not how you looked at them?
Actually, no, I did. And then hold on. This is super important. Oh, I thought this Sorcerer's Spellbook looked like a lot of fun. When you exert it for 1 ink, you gain a lore. You can do that every turn.
Yeah, the Ruby ME control players are going to love that.
It's so good. Also, I liked yeah, boop boop. You can edit all this. Hold on. Oh yeah, busted. Bell Hidden Archer. Whenever this character is challenged, the challenging character's player discards all of their hand. Like, excuse me?
Yeah, and if you have something like John Silver that can give a character reckless and they have to challenge, like,
oh, spicy, spicy.
You know what's also really spicy is Cinderella and this resist 2, which all damage dealt to this character is reduced by 2. That is so crazy because Fire the Cannon's 2 damage does nothing to her. Smash 3 damage does 1 damage to her. You attack it with like a 5, it's only doing 3 damage. Like, this is so crazy.
So we talked last time about rotation, and I feel like maybe just because I'm getting like they're sharing the spicy stuff right now, but it feels like when each chapter has more busted OP cards like this, like older stuff just naturally falls off of being viable.
That's kind of true because the alternative to rotation is power creep, which is you keep printing progressively more powerful sets, so people have to buy the new stuff. I don't think that's going to happen here. A lot of people on Twitter are pointing out like these are like Bella's a legendary. Like, we have some spicy cards in chapter 1 too. Tank is pretty spicy, big tank.
I guess that's fair. They do that in Pokemon Go too. Power creep. So you got to keep catching.
They got to keep you hooked.
Yeah. Yep. Is there more you want to say about this?
Not about the cards.
Do you want to talk about the other materials? Go ahead. Tell us what's next. I'm sorry. I'm like both tired and really energized at the same time.
Love this for you.
I'm a loose cannon.
Well, we also saw play mats, deck boxes, and sleeves.
Deck boxes, waste of time.
I agree. Same with the sleeves, just not that great, not that impressive.
They're cardboard, aren't they? The boxes?
Yeah.
Basically cardboard. Why would I buy that? I had the opportunity to buy it last night and I didn't because I was like, I don't want that.
I impulse bought an Elsa deck box because I saw it come up on an Amazon alert. And I was like, insta buy. I was like, what am I going to do with it?
I don't know.
Put it on my shelf. That's what.
Cute. Is it back there?
It's not here yet. Amazon's not that fast.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
But the playmats.
Super cute. The beast one looks cool. Obviously, Honey Wizard Pooh. Can I say I prefer both of these to the 3 of chapter 1? Although, TBH, I would have loved a Cinderella stout-hearted or Gaston intellectual powerhouse mat, because those cards are both so good art-wise and concept-wise.
Yeah, I was having a hard time getting excited about the Beast playmat, but I'll still get it.
It looked kind of cool. It's very blue and like neat. Looks neat.
And then there is a list of confirmed movies as well. The Princess and the Frog, Winnie the Pooh, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, Zootopia, The Great Mouse Detective, The Jungle Book, Raya and the Last Dragon. Any excitements or surprises?
The Great Mouse Detective is a bit of a deep cut, especially when we already have a Mickey Mouse private investigator. I don't know if there's room for him and Basil, who is also a mouse detective.
Good concern. Legitimate, yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Zootopia surprised me the most.
Yeah.
Oh, they also announced Lorcana Disney 100 edition. Did you see that?
I did.
All right, so this is going to include 6 exclusive cards by Disney animators from Chapter 1 and 2, featuring alternative art by like Disney animators. And it's going to have 4 Chapter 2 boosters. So I guess it's like the Chapter 2 gift set.
Sounds like it.
But its MSRP is $50.
Are you saying that's high or low?
I think it's high. I mean, this gift set's $30. I'm going to buy it, but I'm not happy about it.
Well, there you go. If I ever want to look at it, I'll just come to your house and look at yours.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right, Becky, what's the third reason today's a really exciting day?
Let me think. Let me think. I had therapy today.
Yep, that's it. No.
Oh, we had a roofer come and fix our gutters.
Really bad at this.
Is it our featured creator?
No.
That would be a great segue, though.
It would be. Not it.
Is it Lorcana related?
Yes.
Did I already mention Brian?
Yes. This is just not memorable to you at all. It's hilarious.
Tell me.
I don't know. I tweeted about it. Is that a good hint?
Here, I'll look it up. Hold on. Just pause. Oh. You were more excited about this than me, clearly. Do you want to set the stage?
Sicily.
1923. You're not allowed to make the reference because you don't understand it.
I don't.
I think I'm more chaotic when I'm sitting next to you.
We should. This is our first time recording the podcast right next to each other. So tell us how different it is and if you like it.
Do you have your enchanted? We could hold them. No, that's too much. Okay, so I spoiled it. Katie last night at League pulled her first enchanted after purchasing, what can we say, thousands of cards?
100 would not be an exaggeration.
100 packs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 100 times 12, over 1,000 cards.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
1,200.
You're
yeah,
right.
Okay, I'm not crazy. Meanwhile, I have opened very few packs, but remember last week how I talked about how we ordered a TCG off of TCG Player, like a gift set MSRP, and we're like, this is so weird. Well, it's because it was infused with Disney magic, and I got an enchanted in there, and I also got Carefree Surfer Stitch, which is really, really cute. But more importantly, I got a Maui enchanted, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is awesome. And it's so crazy because of all the packs I opened, finally I opened my first enchanted last night in one of my 3 packs I was allowed to buy at the Four Horsemen. I pulled an enchanted Aurora.
So exciting. And then I immediately did it this morning because I can't let you have anything for yourself.
That's kind of wild, luck.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked. It's funny because I was like looking through them and I could kind of like see that like sparkle, the hollow, from the edge. And I was like, ugh.
You see it right away.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that I have absolutely no basis of fact in, that the troves and the gift sets have like a slightly like lower probability of getting an enchanted than in regular packs, which I'm like, oh, that makes sense. We haven't opened one because a lot of ours are from those things.
That makes sense.
But you defied the probability. Good for you.
I mean, I was like, that was it though. But I mean, out of 4 packs, I got
work, girl.
Yay, that was great. Now let's quickly talk about League. Because I had a good League experience. Did you?
Yeah, I did. I didn't even know we were talking about League. This is our longest episode ever. Tell me about League.
Okay. So I played my 3 games. The first game I played against this woman who I've talked to a lot, but I've never actually played against her or had like a one-on-one conversation with. And she was the best. She was so sweet. She has 2 daughters. The older one is in our Lorcana League as well. The other one, the younger one, she just likes to do her own thing. So she comes and she like hangs out and reads or plays games and does her own thing. But anyway, she was delightful and I annihilated her. But it wasn't her fault because they do a draft in their house where somebody picks the 2 ink colors they want and then the next person picks their 2. And so she this time was stuck with the bottom 2 colors. So it wasn't her favorite deck. And then second time I played a child, my first child that I've got to play against, and it was a delightful experience. So I asked him if he wanted to cut my deck and he said yes. And I was like, I don't need to cut yours. And he's like, okay. He's like, I like to do this thing. And he starts like taking apart my deck into like 8 different spots and like reassembling it in like whatever way he wanted to. And I thought that was great. And our game was like good. He beat me, but here's the thing, Katie. I think he cheated.
Go on.
So I don't think he intentionally cheated. I just think he inadvertently fleeced me. So I forget what card it is, but it's like when this card challenges, it gets like a +2 or whatever.
Challenger +2.
Yeah, Challenger +2. But he was doing that even when I challenged him.
Oh, yeah, that's not right.
I didn't think so. But I let him do it anyway. And he had such a great time beating me. Afterwards, he's like, I've never won more than one at League before. And I'm like, way to beat me, kid. And then game 3, I played somebody who's in our Discord, which was fun. And it was a really spicy game for him and not me. I just gotta tell you what happened because like it couldn't have worked out better for him and not me. So I have both like my my Hades and my Shift Hades, big boy Hades. What is he called? King of Olympus. I have those two. And then I have like a ton of villains in my hand. And I'm like, this is going to be delicious. So I'm like, inking everybody. I have like 4 villains out, I got like Maleficent, Jafar, the Queen, Yzma, and I got baby Hades out. And I'm about to shift him next turn. And then he has stupid Captain Hook fire the cannons. So he fired the cannons on my front line, which was not cute. And then after that, challenged everybody that was left and took out my entire front line. It was so spicy. It was so good for him. Terrible for me. But I had a little saving grace coming up. So next I pulled that marshmallow snowman guy from Frozen, which is like a fairly good defensive card. A solid card, really.
Yeah.
And so I play him and I'm like, maybe we can figure something out here. And he has an amazing ability because when he's destroyed in challenge, he just goes right back to my hand. So I'm like, I can just keep bringing this little guy back out, So what does my opponent do? Fire the cannons twice. He had 2 fire the cannons in his hand. He fired the cannon and he fired the cannon and destroyed my marshmallow guy. And because it wasn't a challenge, it had to go in my discard. And I had nothing. I had nothing. And I lost pretty badly.
Wow. So, like, you love fire the cannons, huh?
That card is OP. There, I said
it. Somebody needed to be talking about fire the cannons.
It is OP. It is OP. But yeah, that's it.
Do you want to hear about my League experience?
I bet it wasn't as good as mine. Oh wait, you got an enchanted, so it was.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, it was good. It was, I don't know, it was a little bit weird because like the first guy I played was a child. And then the second person I played was a magic guy, and I treated him like a magic guy, but then I came to learn pretty quickly he was on a starter deck. And then my third match was against a magic guy who had that Ruby Amy control beautifully tricked out, expertly executed, who kicked my butt. So it's just like, I don't know how to go to League anymore. I definitely need 3 different decks, and I need to start by being like 2 different decks at least, and start being like, how good is your deck? Because Josh did this at a League he won to, and I think that's what I have to do, because it's like,
you're just gonna ask people how good their decks are.
Yeah, because like I played this, I built a deck that I would say is like 2/3 like a really good meta deck that has kind of a chance into this like red purple thing that a lot of people have tricked out at League. But then it like, I'm playing like a kid and I'm playing like a starter deck, and I'm like, okay, well, I have a legendary in my hand and I'm just going to try really hard to play it or not to play it. But it's just like a weird experience. And like, I feel like I need to have different decks for the different audiences at that League.
That's fair. I have also experienced, do I play this legendary because I'm playing somebody who has like a starter deck or like doesn't know what's going on. And generally I tend to not play it. But also my win record is just awful. I usually win 1 game a week.
It doesn't matter. That's not what League is for. So
that's why I don't care. So I don't know. Again, like Ryan said, I just want people to have a good time. Is this going before we interview Ryan?
Yeah, it is.
Well, Ryan also likes us to have a good time, and so do I.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question as a mom?
Please.
If I get matched against a child, am I supposed to let them win?
No.
No?
I do not let them win. They just defeat me by merit.
That's okay.
I don't know. I feel like they expect to be like trounced by adults. The child I played against was very excited to beat me, but also he was cheating.
I was playing a child and I was like, choosing inefficient trades. I was not playing my best, inking some of my best cards, choosing to attack when I should have been choosing to quest. And then I got to the point towards the end of the game where I'm like, should I let him win? And then like he goes to the turn with only one character on the board and plays 2 Ursula Cauldrons and empties his hand, which is like, oh, those can't quest. I can't avoid winning anymore, so I won. But I wasn't sure. Like,
I get that. I would like it to be close, I guess. Well, like let's parents do this all the time. Adults do it in general. I recall my nieces doing this thing where it's like, I'm gonna race ya, and the adults like, oh geez, like staying far back, letting the kid win. Like I feel like that's such a cultural thing that everybody does. But I don't know. I think it also matters how old the kid is. I think I would try to make the game close if possible, but it just comes down to if you're willing to give up the win, which I am always willing to give up the win.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I had no problem giving up the win. I don't have children, obviously. I genuinely don't know because like it got to the end where all he had were the 2 Ursula's Cauldrons, and it's like it doesn't really make sense for me not to quest here. I feel like if at that point I threw the game, it would be very obvious I was throwing the game. You know what I mean?
Here's something interesting that's related. So I was playing my first match of the week where I she just was not drawing anything. Like the final score was like she had 1 lore and I had 20, and it was just like I kind of like almost apologized for what I'm doing. Where it's like, well, I guess it's in my best interest to quest for 6. Kind of business. I don't know. It's just a thought. You can just throw it out there and be like, oh, well, I guess I should do this. It would make sense to me to do this, right? Like asking.
Oh, that's a good question. Be like, oh, what do I do? I feel like.
Do you think I should just quest? Should I just go do this?
Oh, thanks for helping me win.
Yeah, kind of thing. Like, wow, what a team player.
I like that.
You don't have to do that.
But I need to bring a bad deck. I mean, we've talked about it in like 3 episodes. I need to act. I
have this. One deck and it just happens to be bad.
You're still lucky.
Ta-da. I'm efficient. Is there anything else you want to say?
There's a million things I want to say, but they have to wait till next week. We have too much content.
First world problems.
I'll say.
Okay. Now it's time for our featured creator. Katie, what creator are we featuring this week?
Our featured creator is the Inkwell Gamers. This is a new podcast by a husband and wife, Dana and Dalton, and they bring competitive focused content. They did a nice introductory episode, and now they are actually doing a full set review, so going through all the cards in the set to talk about their competitive potential. So I'm going to be following this podcast religiously. I hope you all do too.
Check out the Inkwell Gamers wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, so I guess now we're going to hop into the Ryan interview.
And today we are joined by our favorite league organizer, Ryan.
Hello, my name is Ryan.
We actually don't know that much about you other than that you are our league organizer. So why don't you just jump in and introduce yourself?
All right, head first, let's go. I am the head event coordinator for Pokemon at 4 Horsemen Comics in Robinson, and I'm the Lorcana League leader at the same location. I'm also not employed by the store, so that's a big part there. Most people think I am, but I'm not. That's my demeanor. I have done a lot of things in my time, from about 7 years in martial arts, which got me a lot of my discipline here, and event going and all that fun stuff. I generally understand how a tournament's supposed to be run personally because I've been in a lot of them around the East Coast and everything.
Yeah, you mentioned competing in a bunch of TCG competitions. What TCGs have you played? What's your TCG background?
My TCG background, I have played casually Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Hearthstone, and Gwent, and I play much more competitively in the Pokemon TCG. I actually was just at the Pittsburgh Regional Championships over this past weekend, so that's kind of dating the podcast.
Did you play?
Yes, I did. I did get to play.
How'd you do?
I went 4-3-1, and then I dropped. I did not get to play round 9 because A, I was tired, and B, I was not wanting to worry about the points. I'd let those go to someone else looking to get their invite to Honolulu.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah. So how did you actually get into running events?
For me, getting into running events, it just happened that one of the store owners at the previous store that I ran events at approached me and said, "Hey, would you like to help run the juniors events?" I wasn't actually running it to start with. There was another person who was supposed to be running it, and I was just like, "I'll help you out." And that person ended up not being able to commit to it. So about a week before, they said, "I'm not able to do this at all anymore." So I came out and I started running our junior Pokemon League at the store. And it was pretty quiet. Most we ever got, I think it was like 10 kids, but most of the time it was around like 4 to 6. A lot of kids were having fun. Some kids were enjoying themselves, and kids were being as loud as they normally are, and it was phenomenal. Everyone was having a great time, laughing, smiling. So that's where it all started. And then that store ended up having issues. They closed down, and I just moved and took my league over to Four Horsemen, and then I started running the Thursday nights there along with the Sunday nights, or Sundays in general, out at Four Horsemen. And now I'm running Lorcana as well because the store owner likes the way I run events.
Yeah,
so do we.
So true. So you actually went to Four Horsemen and asked them if you could run their Pokemon League for them?
Yes, another Pokemon professor and myself had approached the store owner at Four Horsemen because he hadn't had a Pokemon League yet. We told him that we were local professors and we're always interested in looking out for different stores that are looking to get leagues. And he was extremely interested. He said, "Yes, I want a Pokemon League. You guys can run it." He talked about what his preferences were, what he wanted, and he was pretty lax with his preferences. I was like, "Whoa, so we get a lot of control?" He's like, "Yeah, you could just have the whole back area and just enjoy it." And that's what we did. We did that, and he was like, "I love the way you guys run it. You guys are great."
Oh, that's awesome.
How did you get into Lorcana?
Oh, the store owner just asked me. Just looked at me and said, "Oh, you're good with kids, and you're good at running events. You wanted to run Lorcana?" I said, "Sure."
And that was it.
Here we are.
Can I ask, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, are you compensated in any way by the store?
Monetarily, no. My compensation comes from league packs that I get for Pokemon. And they're not crazy expensive or anything, but I mean, if I really wanted to, I could hoard them and they'll be like 40-ish bucks a piece down the line when they're not printed again. I mean, like, I take 2 every night that I work. I'm like, I could not crack them, but they got galaxy foils and those are pretty.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So when you started the Lorcana League, were there any lessons that you took from your Pokemon League that you wanted to apply in Lorcana?
Oh yes, very much. There was a lot that I learned from playing Pokemon for 3 years and running events for at least a year. I primarily run off of the rule of fun. So the rule of fun is the way that I like to run my casual events. And that is, as long as everyone's having fun, we have a good time, and that's all that needs to be done. If people want to go further, again, I listen to them and take their feedback, which I did not make the Google form, and I'm going to do that today. I definitely like to run the rule of fun because it makes everyone have a good time and people want to come back. I've always been told people want to come back. Kids are screaming that they didn't that they had to leave the store. Like, "I wanted to go back now." So I hear that all the time, and I'm like, yeah, that's what we want. We want people to be enjoying their time, having fun, and saying that this is what they want to do on whatever day that they're here.
Yeah, I cry when I have to leave Lorcana League too, so I get it.
Oh yeah. I cry from exhaustion sometimes. The other rule that I have is separating competitive play from casual play. It's probably going to answer a lot of questions with this one. I have played a lot of what I call semi-competitive play. This is where you get stuff like prizing being like pack per win or pack based on performance. I genuinely do not like that prize structure. It is very confusing. You have a wide variable that can happen. I've had events where we've had 16 players and like 8 of them went 3-1. All because it paired everyone up, and then eventually everyone just went 3-1. And then there's just a bunch of people at the bottom that went like 0-4 or like 1-3. And it was just like how do you prize that out? Everyone has the same exact score. Do you let it go by resistance? Do you let it go by who they beat, so on and so forth? It's confusing. But yeah, I like to split off the competitive idea versus the casual. Casual, I like to do flat prizing for everyone. It also means that people don't have to pay in. The people who buy in are not getting more packs because they won more. They're getting the same number of packs. The people who lost and bought in are not losing packs because they lost. People who didn't pay are no longer gaining packs or losing packs because they didn't pay in anyway. If I say, oh, you pay $10, you get 2 packs, great. That's it. That's all you get.
Do you feel like having the prizing structure changes the way people like interact during the event itself?
100%. I totally believe that the prizing structure of casual completely removes the competitive mindset that is forced on people as soon as you tell them like, oh, you do better, you get more packs. The moment that you start introducing the competitive mindset as like a forced idea instead of something that people can just develop on their own, which that's one of my key aspects that I focus on whenever I run events, is that the people that are wanting to enjoy their time are normally not looking to be extremely competitive. They're looking to just come in, want to make some friends, want to talk to their friends that they see there. This might be the only time of the week they get to see their friends, and they don't really want to just be super competitive. They just want to enjoy their time. Sometimes you have families who just want to come in and they just want to hang out. They want to be a family together. They might go out to the car and start bickering with each other immediately, but when they're together doing something they can all focus on, they're all laughing, having a good time, and that's you never know. That could be the family's like bright and shining moment that they're excited to do every single week.
Yeah, that's awesome. We have a lot of families, it seems like, at Lorcana.
Yeah, we do. Very cool.
Yes, we do. I get the same thing at Pokemon. Just tons of families. They're like, we love doing this.
That's so nice.
Yeah. We had like our first distribution of promos actually last night at League. So that was exciting.
I was excited for that too.
So can you talk about how you did the prizing for that? I think I'm out of order, but can you talk about how the prizing works for Lorcana League and how you've implemented it?
So the prizing for the Lorcana League, we pretty much did it by the book, except we had a bunch of people who had the full 40 points. So we had 4 people in total who had 40 points. Funnily enough, one of them is there because he plays the other game that is played that night, which is Weiss Schwartz. He comes in early with his girlfriend, who she likes to play Lorcana. She's looking for something to do on those nights because she'd always come there, and now there's Lorcana. She has friends to meet, talk, and have all that fun enjoyment. But he ends up getting 10 points because he'll play a round or 2 of Lorcana, and then he ends up having his Weiss Schwartz players over there, and they don't even know what Lorcana is. And he gets points by teaching them how to play Lorcana. He'll tell me, I taught 3 people how to play Lorcana today. I got up to 10 points, right? And I'm like, yeah, you taught 3 people how to play at 6 points. It's crazy. He's always stoked.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing the good conversion work over there. I love it.
Right? Gotta reward that.
Yeah.
Gotta reward all those guys. So I talked to those 4 players about what they wanted to do for these prizing, because by the book, it states that I should raffle it off, and whoever I raffle it off to gets the pin and two of the promos that they select. I talked to all three of them that were there, and they all said that they were happy to run a raffle, and the first person gets the pin, and the next two people get a promo of their choice. And they were happy with that. And then the rest of the promos and pins were raffled off at random to any player who had at least 3 points. And I think you guys can attest that getting 3 points is very easy at our Lorcana.
Yeah.
I'm just going to co-sign everything you're saying about pricing because I really think it makes a difference. My game I came from was Flesh and Blood. There's a Flesh and Blood armory at your store, at the same store.
Mm-hmm.
You're running very successful events and it's just not doing as well. I think they're struggling to get 4 people to fire events at that store. And they have a very top weighted pricing structure in Flesh and Blood that I think is not nearly as welcoming to new players.
Yeah. If you want new people to show up, there's always a barrier to entry. Reducing barrier to entry is always something that every card game needs to look at and genuinely take a swing at. It's structure decks, starter decks, things like that really get people in the door. Lorcana has been pretty much scalped for them, and I've been through scalping with Pokemon during the COVID era, so I have a good bit of experience with this stuff. So all I can say is just trudge through it.
Do you belong to like a Lorcana League? Like, do you play Lorcana?
Nope, I don't play Lorcana very much at all. I am going to be downloading The Sims so I can just play online and just have some fun that way. Because I saw the second set come up and I got excited, so I'm like, all right, you're excited. Download the online app so you can play.
The Pixelborn, is that what you're gonna download?
Yes, yes, Pixelborn.
But you have a deck, right? Because I think you've played people that have buys.
Yes, I have a deck that I bring with me, which is just a structure deck with some extra cards put in there. I was like, I don't like these cards. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to put in Mulan because Mulan is cool.
That is also the opinion of this podcast. So another question we have for you is that the official tournament rules for Lorcana came out. They're advocating for best of 3 matches in competitive play. We're doing best of 1 in our matching structure. Do you have like any reasons for why you chose best of 1?
So I chose best of 1 primarily for time. I know that with Pokemon, I was able to get people out of there, if I say there's 4 rounds, 2 hours. 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes done. Everyone's out within 2 hours, runs pretty smoothly. And I tried it with Lorcana, and it worked just the same. Say it's 30 minutes each round. We start at 6:30. I say there's going to be 3. People can get out at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, like Becky, you're a new player. Like, I feel like a best of 3 might feel overwhelming.
Oh, what did they do? A best of 3 in 50 minutes? I don't know if I could do that. It would be very stressful for me. So I like what we're doing. I think it's nice. I think it really helps with the accessibility and stuff. And I mean, even, League's only been going on for 4 weeks, but like, I feel like every week we have at least one new person coming in for their first time to try to learn. And I think that's fantastic. So definitely offers that opportunity.
Well, that's actually along those lines. The Lorcana League pamphlet that came out, they kind of like say something about open play and people can come and go. So the way a lot of other Lorcana Leagues are running is they're not doing matchmaking. Can you talk about why you decided to do it?
So adding structure to an event, in my opinion, creates a lot of good things for the event. It removes a lot of the bad. So one of the bad things that can happen is like cliques or groups or clubs of people that they're like, I only want to play my friends. I'm not comfortable playing a new person, or I don't want to play this person, and then they never talk to that person. That person might just be a little awkward, and you to sit down and talk to them, and then you're like, wow, this person could be my best friend. You never know. But if you add a little bit of structure, we had 40 players last night. That was insane. That was very awesome. I was excited for that. And I can tell you this: if I said everyone just play whoever you want, I guarantee you the parents are playing their kids. I guarantee you the groups are just playing their groups, and they're going to play a few games, get up and leave, and that's all they're going to do. Like they'll play like 1 or 2 games, get up, go, take their packs, and just head out. Whereas if we do a structured event, if you have ever been in larger events, you know that 40 players normally leads to a much larger amount of rounds than 3. So 3 is normally accompanied by up to 8 players. So just saying, we're just going to do 3 rounds. It's been good for timing. A lot of players are like, I can get there at 6:30, and a lot of players are like, I got to leave around 8 o'clock. I'm like, great, we'll just do 3 rounds, best of 1. Everyone is able to have enough time to enjoy themselves. It gives them the opportunity to earn the points that they need to get all 10 points. So I feel it's fair to everyone there to be able to come in, play 3 rounds, best of 1. Just those 2 alone add 7 points. They're doing any of our house rules, getting Lorcana or wearing anything. That's Disney. It's another point. That's 8 points. You only need to get 2 points. Bring a friend, 9. Teach someone how to play. It's 10, 11. You got enough points already.
Nice. Yeah, as a person with social anxiety, I love the matchmaking, and I honestly don't think I'd ever go to an event that doesn't have it, because the idea of going up to a stranger and being like, will you play with me, is so scary to me.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yes, I'm the same exact way.
I also, what you're mentioning about, playing people you wouldn't, necessarily like gravitate towards just because, your little home world. I also love the 30 minutes, because usually you have like at least 5 minutes at the end to kind of like have a conversation. And I'm a mom, and like I love like meeting so many parents. I didn't expect there to be so many parents, and I don't have any parent friends. And I'm like, can we be Lorcana and parent friends? That would be incredible. So I really like having that opportunity to like talk to people that I don't usually talk to.
That's phenomenal. I love to hear that. That's heartwarming for me.
Oh.
TCGs are traditionally male dominated. You might have noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, Lorcana seems to be bringing in a lot of women, but still, I've been to events all over town, and none of them have as many women as your league does. Do you like see any factors that you think contribute to why women are coming to your league and why they're continuing to go?
So my number one factor that I know of is forcing the competitive nature upon players. So if you have a competitive league who they play competitively, the prizing structure is forced to be competitive. We go back to the prizing, and it's the same deal. More women are more comfortable with go in, socialize, talk with people, make friends, make connections, network, and that's how they enjoy themselves. There's also men that do that as well. I know a lot of men who they're just there to hang out with their friends. And then the other thing is the structure, genuinely the structure, like Becky was saying, how she likes the structure of being able to just meet, other parents that are there, or, I'm big on like meeting kids who are excited about the game and being able to talk to them and hear how they experience things. They always tell me the most hilarious stories half the time. They're like, my dad threw a card and I picked it up and I just put it in a sleeve and now I got a deck. That's interesting. That's a fun story to hear from players. So yeah, definitely the structure and not forcing competitive nature tends to be a big factor as to why a lot of the more casual players will come out to play and enjoy themselves. Because I feel like there's a lot of women who like TCGs. They just can't find a home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that too. This is I feel like this is a hard question, but have you experienced issues with inclusion at any of your events, and what steps have you taken to combat those issues?
Yes, I have experienced this before. I've had one of them at one of the leagues I ran, and I've had another at. Actually, I had a lot of issues with this at the other store, and it had to do with some of the women that I had talked to. There was one of them was one of my significant others, and she didn't feel very included because it was the semi-competitive nature, and she wasn't doing very well in the game. She had her deck. She liked her deck. This is her deck. She enjoyed it, and when it came out, she was enjoying it. She made the best call. She was like, "That card is really cool. I want to play that one." It was phenomenal. It was kicking butt. She loved it. She was doing well. People started talking to her more, and then as a set goes by, her deck is no longer the best deck out there. The new cards came in, they trumped it, and she's still playing her deck because she enjoys her deck. And the people started talking to her less because she wasn't performing well. She was having mental barriers happening as well, not being able to focus, dealing with ADHD and that. And she was working through all of this, trying to focus and figure it out. But it was really getting to her that she wasn't able to enjoy the camaraderie in the community because the players were more competitive focused. So I had to deal with that very personally because, again, this was a person I was living with. So I was like, well, we got to deal with this. We got to hear. We got to talk about it. And they're like, yeah, I just don't. Eventually ended up with, I no longer want to go play that TCG anymore. So things like that happened. There was another player who had very much the same exact issue, that she didn't want to talk to anyone. They wanted to be part of the competitive team and the community like that, talking about all this stuff, but people were not giving them the respect that they deserve for being a good competitive player, even though I was always like, "You're great. I would have you on my team." Anything like that. You're great. You're awesome. You don't have to be going 5-0 every single week. I don't care. You can be someone who goes 3-2, 3-2, 2-3. You're still a good player. It's just how the meta works. The local players, when you're semi-competitive, it's a whole nother ball game of trying to figure out like mind games as to what you're playing against and who's playing what, and then they play something else. Like, my mind's blown. I didn't expect them to play that. Oh, so then they just weren't enjoying that because they wanted to just play a few decks that they liked, and they were being punished because people were expecting what they were playing, and people played around it.
I feel like that just like triggered memories in me because like I feel like kind of the same way, like because being a woman in Flesh and Blood, which is a more competitive community, it's like I always kind of felt like an outsider for like a long time. I was kind of like Josh's wife who was hanging around until the first weekend. There was like a pre-release weekend, and there were like 3 big events, and I won the first one. And then I won the second one, and suddenly like I felt like everything changed and people were treating me so differently and like talking to me more and including me more. And it created this like really intense anxiety in me to keep performing. And I think honestly, that was the turning point of when it stopped being fun for me, because I almost felt like the friendships and respect were tied to me like doing well, and I didn't want to have to keep doing well.
Yep, you said it exactly. Exactly. The anxiety of having to do well, and the hilarious part of not being respected enough for people to call you by who you are. You were always attached to someone else. You were always this person's wife, this person's girlfriend, this person's significant other. It's like, can't I just be me? I'm me. I'm growing as a player, not this person's girlfriend or this person's wife, this person's significant other. I am me. And people just don't respect that.
Yeah.
So can we move on to some listener questions, maybe? This one you're not prepared for. It just came in prior to recording. This is from Magic King of the Ass Carp.
I'll give him a solid 9.5 out of 10 for that name.
Thought you might like that.
How are you enforcing the established rules of the game so far?
So anytime someone has a question on a ruling, I will always do my best to look up the rule and understand the situation and take that knowledge going forward. I understand that I might make a bad call every so often. It happens. I take those on the chin and brush them off. But no matter what, if someone says, "Hey, this is actually how it's supposed to go," great, phenomenal, now I know. Cite a ruling to me, I'll learn it. I don't have any issues learning that. I'm a judge for Pokemon, so I mean, this happens all the time. We just had a regional, so some judges made mistakes at the regional, and everyone was blasting them on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call your social media platforms nowadays. But everyone was blasting them on social media, and the judging community is just sitting there like, "Hey, you guys did a good job."
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to hate on it or take this hate or anything. It's just shrug it off and be like, we're good. Move on to the next one. So
Judges are humans. They make mistakes too at all levels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you had any issues with people getting tense over rules? I'm thinking not. It's so casual.
At Lorcana, no, not at all. Pokemon's a different story.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we've had people walk out of the store.
Oh, jeez.
So that's always fun.
We have a question from Antian.
Mhm.
Why do you enjoy organizing TCG events instead of playing in them? There's a special quality in people like you, not to, stroke your ego, but that help create strong experiences for players that many stores need.
So I definitely enjoy running TCG events. I definitely enjoy playing in them, but I understand that there's going to be a balance for me. I've had people in my life who have done things for me, and they haven't asked for anything in return. They've just done things because they were nice. And to be honest, I just really want to give back to people. Just say, I'm here to make you happy. Here, I want you all to be happy whenever you leave, because then I know that I've done something successful. Not in this for fame, fortune, or anything. It's just if people are walking out of here happy, I'm happy. I'm somewhat building myself. I mean, if you want to look at any way that I can quote profit off of it, it's I'm just building skills for myself. Then there, that's your way to say how I profit off of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, it is. And it's working. You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Great. That's all I want. I want people to be happy that I'm happy.
All right. And this question is from Josh Infernal Schemer. I think this is actually a really tough question. We can all talk through it. But do you have any thoughts on how to address the product availability issues? Because it seems like we have a lot of people who really can't get their hands on anything but starter decks. And then we also have people with tricked out meta decks. So is there like any ways we can, mitigate this to make sure everyone's having fun?
So the real question. So I'll start with the first part: product availability issues. Again, this is a scalper's market. I've been through this. It took about a year or so-ish, a year and a half-ish, to get us through the scalper's market. It was a lot, very painful. A lot of people were paying exorbitant amount of prices to go get product. I went all the way out to McKnight, an hour out of my way to go pick up what is now $50 boxes. I can buy them on eBay or TCG Player for $40. I was buying them for $90 a piece.
Oh, wow.
Because that's how much they were at that time. They were going for $100. They're insane. I have now a couple of them sealed just for myself because I'm like, they're really cool. They're a memento to me. It reminds me of how much I paid. So, needless to say, with scalping markets, all I have to say is that the companies will deal with it. They will address it in whatever ways that they can. They will print the crap out of everything, and they will make the players happy. They will do that. Just give them time, understand that it sucks, and just go forward with it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a while, but it'll eventually even out. So we can't do anything about that. But in the meantime, is there anything we can do to bridge the gap between people on a starter deck and people willing to shell out a lot of money on eBay?
Definitely. If you can ever find places that have starter decks at decent rates, MSRP, $20, anything like that, buy them and take them to league with you. Don't even open them. Just say, give me $20, I'll give you this starter deck. You have a starter deck. Now they have a full deck they can play. Stuff like that. I'll tell you, the store's not going to be upset if you trade $20 for a starter deck.
Yeah.
No, the store's going to be happy that, hey, we got someone else playing. Yay.
Do you have any other general advice for anybody trying to run a Lorcana League?
So, for running a Lorcana League, I would definitely focus on making the most people happy. And to make the most people happy, you need to identify what your player base wants. So if your player base is full of casual players, cater to them, make them happy, and people will come back. If your player base is competitive, cater to them, they will come back. If you want to develop a new player base, cater to them, market them, they will come back. This is not a game where you have to really try to get players to walk in the door. Players will walk in the door, and as long as you give them a home, give them something that they want, they can and very much will stay for the long run. And got to make things available to them. We at Four Horsemen have made it available by saying we are not going to put out the products onto the shelf so people can just purchase all of the packs in the world, because people very much would walk up and slam, $10,000 on the table and buy all the packs right then and there. It's not worth it. Make that quick 10K. It doesn't matter, because then the people no longer want to come back, and then the people who were going to be coming back, the 40 players that we had, are just going to say, well, I don't enjoy, coming to a store and just getting store credit.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for experienced players to help make their league more welcoming?
Be nice and help people out. It's the first one. If your league is casual, don't try to go 3-0 or 4-0 or 5-0. Just have fun. Maybe try out some wacky things at league. Be the person who's like, I'm gonna run 4 Goofy, 4 Mickey of as many as I can, and just have a really fun, wacky time. Maybe you're like, I'm gonna play all the songs I can and just sing my way through the night and see how I go. Give yourself a little bit of challenge in there, boost, and do some wacky things, because players are gonna remember those moments. You're gonna remember those moments. I remember moments from whenever I was just like, I'm not going to win this game, but instead of saying I give up and scooping all my cards up and saying, okay, we're done with the game, I instead just went for something really wacky. And every time I mention it to the players that were around me, they're like, oh my God, I remember that. That was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't be afraid to take losses if it's casual, because you might make someone's night, and they'll come back and play, and they might end up becoming a world champion all because you took a loss to them.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. Listen, you don't need the one sticker. You're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell your league leader. They might just give you this. They might give you another sticker just for taking the loss.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And then do you have any advice for people out there who want to go to their first Lorcana League, but they've never been to a TCG event and they're feeling nervous?
So I will say one thing that is super controversial, but I think a lot of us have this. We're all nervous when we go to leagues. A lot of people are all nervous. I'm nervous when I walk in. I'm nervous when I start seeing people fly through the door. I'll tell you what, I saw 40 people walk through the door yesterday, and I was shaking in my boots. I was like, that's a lot of people. I'm going to have to go get another table marker too. Oh, I wasn't expecting more than 30. So we're all nervous. People will come up to you and talk to you. Just be open, be smiley, just do your thing while you're there, Try not to be on your phone. It kind of makes people go away. They don't want to approach you. So just pull out your deck, just look through it. Just be sitting there looking through your deck, maybe read a few cards, even though, man, you know exactly what that card does. Just read all through it, and someone will walk up to you and be like, wow, that card's really cool. And then boom, you have a conversation, you met a new friend, and then, make a couple friends, stick around them for a little bit, and then show up next week. Maybe those same players will be there, and you now have some friends that you met. And then, a month or two later, you're hopping in Discords, talking with people, giving rulings, and, talking about having a wonderful discussions, throwing out feedback. It takes time. Your first time you go, just know that all of us are nervous. It takes someone will walk up to you and say hi. If not, you walk up to someone and they'll be like, nice to meet you.
And we can confirm we're all nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous every time. I don't know. I just am. So yeah, it's good to hear that it's everybody. It's not just me. I thought I was the problem. It's all of us.
One question before we have you plug yourself. We did have D. Cerny. They want to support great shops, and we keep bragging about Four Horsemen. Is there anything that people can do to support Four Horsemen?
The biggest thing to do to support any local game store is to purchase products from them, advertise and advocate. These are the things that you can do. Stores absolutely love it. They're like, yes, yes, do more of that. That's what we want. Gets people walking in the door. They're like, I heard about Four Horsemen. Tell everyone about it. Tell your grandma. Tell your niece. Tell your nephew. Tell Mary Sue down the lane. They're all going to love this place. Talk it up. They get there. They have a great experience. Tell them to talk it up. And next thing you know, the spider web of networking goes very long. And then everyone's just enjoying having a wonderful time. But definitely purchasing anything there is also at any store is helpful. Try looking up your local game store on TCG Player is where I recommend to look at them first. And maybe you look through some of their inventory because you can sort by just stores and then you can search their inventory of online stuff. And maybe you're like, I don't really, you say like, I'm willing to throw like $50 towards the store. And then you find like a card that's $40 and you're like, I want that. And then you just purchase it. And then they're excited. They're making their profits off those and having a wonderful time, excited to make profits so that they can continue paying rent and getting you a place to play.
Yeah.
Does Four Horsemen have a TCG player? I don't even know.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
It's just Four Horsemen.
I'll have to find a link. All right, then tell people where they can find you if you want them to find you.
Does Ryan want to be found?
Do you want to be found?
Oh, no, I'm scurrying in the corner.
But also plug absolutely anything you want to plug.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at RY4Gaming, RY the number 4, and then gaming. That's my Discord handle as well, RY4Gaming. If you ever want to hop in any of my Discords or add me as a friend, I'm always available. And then if I've done YouTube and Twitch, but I don't really do them anymore. So same deal, RY4Gaming and RY4Gaming. You can find anything that I've done there. See the little videos I made 12 years ago for the 13-year-old. Go ahead.
I'm excited.
See the cringe.
No, I'm excited.
Well, it was wonderful having you. Thank you for answering all our questions. It was really great. And we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see you guys next week. It was a pleasure being here.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Now we're after the
wow, Ryan. Great question. No. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out on YouTube for this, but on YouTube. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And have like a really great day. And remember, and also we have a Discord which you can check out if you want to, but like you don't have to. I'm not your mom. I don't clean your room. Just kidding. I didn't mean it. And until next time, remember to
live, laugh, and lore.